Hey, what's up guys? How's it going? This right here is the 2023 Toyota Supra with the manual, and I'm gonna give you guys an outside walk around, an inside tour, and show you why this thing really is not much of a BMW meme anymore. All right guys, let's start with the outside and kind of going back to what I was saying. I know this is based off of BMW hardware, engine, chassis, etc. But one, the memes are getting old and no one's kind of really seeing this as a BMW anymore. People see this as a Supra and people respect it for what it is today, you know? So let's start with the outside walk around. Nothing really has changed because this is the manual from the exterior, except for a few new color options that are allowed for, that have been, offered for this model year, and the new wheel options. This is the stratospheric blue, which looks so good with the body lines. I mean, the design has aged pretty well in the last like 3-4 years. I think it's going to continue to do so. It looked good. It still gets looks, it gets thumbs up. People respect this car. Let's start with the front, and just gonna go bit by bit and break it all down for you guys. So you do get the front end that was inspired by the concept car. It does pull a lot from it. You get this nice kind of beak up front with the Toyota emblem right there. Just below that is a fully functional vent, and then there are some on the sides that are blocked off. You can see it isn't functional up there, but I'm sure it's because it didn't need to be. Where it gets a little excessive and people really don't like it is the one right there. That possibly could have been a vent to help channel air, but they didn't deem that necessary. The headlights haven't changed much. You do get the nice jewel projectors up there, which look really cool, and then your daytime running light kind of spans across, which is really iconic when you see it on the road. Then this does have a black splitter, which kind of kicks up here. Looks really nice. Paired nicely with this navy blue, in my opinion. Going to the top, you do have the hood, which has a nice hood lines. It's a huge, one big panel, and it also takes part of the fender out of the equation. So the fenders typically come up here and go down. You just get this awkward panel down there, and then another, yet again, fake vent. Some people can modify, they made functional vents. It's not going to do anything for you guys that makes you feel better, that it is functional. Maybe it'll reduce some lift by extracting some of the hot air that builds up under the hood, but not really critical or necessary. As far as down here, you do get your windshield wiper ejectors or whatever, nozzles, spray nozzles, if that matters to you guys. And then you have your sensors up front on the windshield, and then your automatic windshield wiper sensor right there. So come around the back though, you get the blacked out A-pillar, the double bubble on the hood, which looks really nice. And then this nice character line for the window that arcs up. You also do get another one down there, and then they have this molding, which again is another fake vent, but I think it all gives opportunity for aftermarket to really take from there if they want to integrate into their body kit and whatnot. So you also get a blacked out side sill. This is the 3.0 Premium, if you guys are wondering. It's the only way you can get the manual, but it's a no cost option on that. So really quickly, let's look at these unique wheels for 2023. They look so good. They look amazing. The spokes with the holes in there, it just looks so nice. It's such a good design. I think they killed it. Let's see if I can't rotate that. And then you get your bigger brakes because it's the 3-liter. And then the Premium also gets bigger brakes in the back, brake rotors, so larger discs. So keep that in mind. There is a mechanical hardware difference between the 3.0 regular and then the Premium. And one of them is the larger brakes. So, and while I'm here, we're talking about the final drive. On the manual transmission, they did change the final drive ratio in order compared to the automatic. So just keep that in mind. There are some changes there, and that's just to help with acceleration numbers, first gear, second gear, third gear, spacing compared to an 8-speed where you have a lot closely matched gears, and that impacts performance. So coming around the back here, you do get another fake vent. I just call this a character line. A lot of companies do this. This doesn't need to be a functional vent in the back. Like, what is it really going to do? It's really nice, mean diffuser with the reverse light down there, dual exhaust. On sport mode, when you're driving, you do get down to the burbles. It does not fart on shifts though, because it doesn't need to cut throttle in between those shifts, or cut ignition. I forget what it does between the shifts in order to get the little farts. People thought this was going to have a red Supra badge because of the manual. That's just on the A91 MT edition. So that will have a red Supra badge. There really is no distinct way to identify a manual Supra from the outside. And I wish they did do that. I mean, it's just hard to identify. You're going to assume a lot of them are automatics these days because they've been out for so long. But yeah, here's a quick look at the key so you guys can see there's a nice accent there. Standard BMW issue key, if you guys are curious, but with a Toyota logo. But that kind of brings me to a point. The key is the only way, that and the button inside, which I'll show you, is the only way to open the trunk. There is no button down here, and that's pretty annoying. Not gonna lie. I wish they had done that. It would just make it a lot more easier. I always find myself getting back here and not pressing it. But anyway, I digress. You do get a 10.1 cubic feet, or 10.2, I believe, cubic feet storage space. It's nice that it's a hatch, so you at least take advantage of that. It's not like a small opening. You could remove this privacy cover, and it gives you access all the way to the front. And to be honest, it's a pretty good view. See that? The manual transmission, interior, looks good. But let's take a step back here. Nothing really crazy going on here. I have my equipment. Fits stuff pretty nicely. Things do move around and you do hear it, but you'll see your speaker grills up there. So let's close this thing up. And let's pop open the hood. All right, so opening up the hood right here, let's talk through some of the numbers. So again, that final drive ratio is 3.15 in the automatic. It's a 3.46 in the manual. And it weighs less at 3,389 pounds. So just keep that in mind. As far as the horsepower and torque, it's the same 382 horsepower, 368 pound-feet of torque. And then in the manual transmission, it takes 4.2 seconds to get from 0 to 60. In the automatic, it's 3.9. Again, how realistic and consistent is the 4.2 second number? Probably not that consistent compared to the automatic. But again, you have the enjoyment of shifting yourself and you can still go fast. And yes, this is an inline six from BMW, and it does have BMW logos. But again, they've put it into this car and they've made it a good package that people can enjoy as the Supra. You get Supra, you know, onto this fender plastic molding, which is a nice touch. And the nice thing is, because it's a BMW sourced engine, you have the same tuning opportunities as you would, you know, with this B58 platform, which is in all the BMWs. So that's a lot of people to really kind of have fun with this car and do a lot of that stuff. So you can get this in a 4-cylinder, but that will not allow you to get the manual transmission. So just keep that in mind. I think they didn't do that in order for it to not cut too much into the GR86 model, which is understandable. So yeah, that is under the hood. That's pretty much the specs that you need to know. SA0W20 is the oil of choice here. And yeah, let's close this up. Just looks so good. Let's hop inside and let's show you guys the manual transmission. I know you guys really want to see it here. So let's get inside here. I would normally show you the doors. Nothing really crazy. You get 2 speakers, switch gear, unlock, lock, and then your other trunk button that I showed you guys. I'm gonna hop inside here and talk about the manual shifter and how it feels, because I have some I have some opinions on it. If you guys really care to listen to it, but I'm gonna clutch in here. The shifts, there are longer throws. I am hitting my elbow back here, but that's because I have a bottle in. But you know, you don't need to if you really want to be mindful of that. It feels very notchy, very good engagement into the gears, which is nice. Reverse is 2 notches to the left, so it takes a good amount of effort to get in there. I might just be weak, but at least in this car, I don't remember it being this stiff when I first drove it, to be honest. But it's fine. You get used to that, and then I'm sure it just kind of wears in. The other thing I noticed, and from an owner's perspective, I think this is something to keep in mind, is there's only one USB port right here, right? That's the only USB port. You're gonna have the cable coming up, being here, and I'll have the phone here and then the slack. It gets very annoying with this gear shift replacement, and I don't think they should have put this here. I wish they had put a USB cable in the back, somewhere over there. You'd feed a wire, and you can kind of just keep your phone there. If you really want, you'd run it. But they do have a wireless charger here on this model, and then this little phone shield to, I don't know, protect you from looking at it, to not distract you. But this little knob here for a 12 volt gets in the way of you sliding your phone in and out. So I don't know, they could have thought this better. It's the same situation for the automatic, but the USB port and having the wire stick up and out, you know it's going to start to interfere with this no matter how you route it. I wish there was a side-mounted USB port that automatically starts going sideways. That's how I would have liked to do it. And yeah, so those are kind of my opinions. Shifter feels great. You can get a short throw on this. We're going to make that an aftermarket because the throws feel really nice. And then when you are driving it, we'll turn it on here. It does tell you what gear you're in. So I'm shifting to the gears right now, and it's really quick. It's not based on once you actually fully engage the clutch. It automatically senses once you're in gear, and it gives you recommendations based on driving what gear to be in, and it'll actually tell you to switch gears. So it'll tell you if you're in first and you're on like, you know, pretty hard on the throttle. It's like, okay, get into third, and you can just skip the gears. And that's just their recommendation. And those recommendations happen whether you're in sport or not in sport mode. In sport mode, you can configure that, kind of like previous Supras, and it will not turn on auto start stop. You get your park sensors here, which is, it's nice and good resolution there, and super helpful because you don't get a 360 surround view camera in this vehicle. You do get, oh, there you go, a reverse camera with projection lines, which is nice. And you have your different settings right there for your reverse camera. But yeah, so those are my thoughts on the manual transmission. The clutch is it's actually easy to learn, this clutch. The buy point's like right about, you know, it's not like I'm not showing you guys much, honestly, I feel bad. What's the point of me telling you guys that? But it's really easy to learn this clutch. Steering wheel is the same, unchanged. Nothing really crazy going on here. Nice leather wrap steering wheel. On the left, you have all your buttons for, what's it called? Your lights, so that's great. And then on the right, you have, let's go home here, your infotainment system, and then you have your touch-sensitive buttons like most BMWs that you can incorporate into shortcuts, and then you can set that as, let's say, your auto rev match on-off, which is pretty easy to turn off. By default right now for this car, it's on, because I've been driving it. I like it, nothing against it. And you have your iDrive or Toyota control here. One thing I want to note is on the speaker system, I'm not going to turn it on, but like, you go like, okay, actually, hold up. I'm going to scroll down here. You see these lines, okay? When you're right about like here, it's already really loud. I wish I could play some music, but I don't want to get copyrighted strike. But like, the full volume's insane on this car. It's a small cabin. You can barely get to like a normal like kind of background sound noise and talk to someone unless you're like right at the 1 mark, which is kind of annoying from like a usability standpoint. So just keep that in mind. Going up top, you have, you know, your lights here, your SOS button, but nothing really crazy going on here. You have your microphone arrays for calls and stuff like that. Down here, yes, it is carbon fiber. Yes, they had to move this for the automatic transmission and reorganize stuff, but it works out pretty nicely. I have no complaints on this ergonomically. They placed this in a good situation. I mean, like I said, I was bumping on. You have it here, you're definitely gonna bump. So yeah, definitely use the second bottle holder, and that's pretty much the only place to hold a drink, practically. So these seats are nice. They're not changed for this year. You do get a color option for the like E91 MT for like some tan interior, and then this tan leather would be like on the portions of the wheel, which is nice. But I'm gonna hook this up for you guys, and we'll do a quick drive. All right, getting inside the Toyota Supra. I'm gonna start this thing up. We're gonna get this into sport mode because I like the burbles and stuff it does on. Once you let off the throttle and shift and downshift and all that goodness. It's really when you just let off throttle at a high RPM or even moderate. So clutch, it's pretty easy to modulate. Nothing crazy there. This does have auto start stop when you're not in sport mode, and it does turn off the engine, which I'll show you guys. I did a video on it in case you guys are curious. If you get out of gear and come to a complete stop, engine turns off. It will turn back on when you press the clutch. I was curious because my intrusive thoughts kicked in, and I was like, what if you put it in gear while the engine's off and you're not clutched in? Will it turn it on? Will it try to start? What will it do? Does nothing. It tells you what gear you're in, but it will not turn on until you clutch in. Oh, what if I clutch him while it's in gear? I don't know. I don't know. Okay, we're gonna try it for you guys. I didn't try it in the video. I'm doing a dedicated video on that. Uh, oh, I'm so curious now. That has to not be good. Actually, no, it'll start up. I'm stupid. It'll start up because I'll be clutched in and I'll have to let off the clutch for it to start rolling. Duh. Okay, we don't need to try it. It's gonna start up. Duh. Jeez, so dumb. Anyway, this car drives great. Like I said, the shifts are very notchy, it's telling me to go into fourth to be efficient. It really wants you to be efficient even in sport mode, which I wish it didn't in sport mode. That'd be kind of the differentiating factor. You guys are wondering why this camera's shaking. I'm on a pretty like cantilevered suction mount setup. I'm trying to work on it, guys, and improve it for you guys because I don't do much driving videos, so it'll get better. I promise. I mean, visibility isn't that great. We know about the buffeting when the windows are down, which is annoying. That isn't changed. They have not done stuff. There are things you can do, I believe, to prevent that. They make attachments to get rid of buffeting, I believe, like up front. Yeah, there's things you can do, but the beauty on the outside with the looks are what you kind of pay for on the inside. But you get used to that, the looks of it. There's blind spot monitoring and whatnot. So I wouldn't stress out about it. You get used to those things as you drive the car. It's telling me to go into fifth gear there. It's like, bro, chill, you know? And I think people kind of already know this is a Frankenstein of parts for this manual transmission to become a thing. It's not a direct kind of from the Z4. It's a misconception. Unless I'm really wrong, but that's something I believe I had looked at. I do have auto rev matching on, like I said. But again, this is a very easy to drive manual transmission, and it's also a good one. So, oh, that's another thing. When you're in auto start stop and you kind of engine turns off and you're neutral, it'll let you coast a little bit without engaging the engine. So you get like infinite MPGs at that point. It's a good fuel saving method. But turns back on really quick. It's not like it doesn't shutter the entire car. So it's a really, I like auto start stop. It saves gas. I mean, I'd rather use gas to have fun and go fast than to waste at a traffic light, you know? So, and it really recommends you to get to shifting when you're at set 2,000 RPM, which is, I guess, understandable. I don't know why I shifted in and out of sixth. So I want to feel like I'm doing something, you know? Let's downshift here. Let's get into sport. You can hear the burbles. It's pretty well insulated in here, so you don't hear it too much. And that's kind of the... Oh, it's nice. It's nice. Still sounds good. Not as loud as the automatic. I think that's just due to sound regulations and the tests of a manual versus a automatic. Yeah, if you guys do want to see a full track video, I have that on my other Supra review. I'll link that down below. If you have any questions, drop them in the comment section. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace!